Okay, so this is a task one exercise. So what I receive are these tasks from my students. So this one is from Liz, a pie chart with a table combined. And then for the first one, this is a complicated line graph. So let's do something on this. Mhm. Wait, I think I want to snip it further so that there we can see it better. There. All right, there it is. So many lines going all around the place. Then it's like, oh, how the elderly people in the US spend their free time between 1980 and 2010. Okay. Oh man, we can't see it much. Okay, can you see that? Oh,
Blur.
hiking. No. Oh, never mind. Okay. So, let's time this. I have 20 minutes for this one. Alarms and clock there. All right, there. Started for 20 minutes. Mhm. Where's the 20-minute clock? Let's make a new one. So 20 minutes there, or yeah, 20 minutes there. Okay, so here we go. Time is starting. Yes. So graph shows how elderly people in the US spent their free time between 1980 and 2010. Did you see that verb spent there?
On.
So yeah, you gotta make sure you use the past tense. So I'm just gonna create an outline first, guys. So as regards to the tense, again, I would recommend that you go to video number 19 first. We use the past tense for that. Video 19 in the YouTube page there. Then, okay, or alternately, we can also use the past perfect tense. Past perfect, like had risen, something like that. Then what's the next criterion? Nominals. So, is there a trapper reading, hiking? Ooh, that's so nice, hiking. What's this? Theater is a nominal trap. Is that a theater? Theater, is that a theater? I can't really
Yes.
read it. It is. Watching TV and surfing the internet. So theater is what we call a nominal trap. So don't type
Yes.
theater. You type watching theaters. And then what are these figures? These are also nominals. Free time activities of the elderly in the US from 1980 to the present. But it says here it's only up to 2010. Man. Okay. See what year is that? 20. Can you see that?
The 10.
2010. Okay. And then these are percentages, correct? Remember the time is running. All right. So no problem with that regard. And then let's now consider the overview. So overall, I will cite this, of course, steady upward trend, and then I will cite the yellow line. And then I will cite that the rest of the values saw an increase there. So three overviews, guys. So first, hiking, was that hiking? This
Hiking.
hiking
Yes.
there,
That's the orange.
there. First, hiking, hiking saw a stable increase. Then second, what's the yellow one? Watching TV.
Watching TV.
Yeah. Do you know that in care homes in the UK, they have their own rooms and their own TV? Wow, man. Okay. Watching TV. was popular throughout. And then the third one is the rest have seen, had seen an increase. There, that's it. And then we're now going into the cluster. So we will just cluster each and every one of these guys. So I will just, there. Oh, this is the hard part. There, shapes. Let's choose a shape. Let's choose that oblong. So that one has no problem. I'll just cluster the entire thing. All of that. There. No problem. Easy peasy. Okay. Let's remove that blue fill. Let's go, computer. Time is running. Yeah. So where's the fill portion? Oh, there's the fill up there. So no fill. There. Then, of course, this one is so easy. We already talked about hiking, right? So let's not talk about that anymore. So the next cluster I would use is this one. That one there. Do you see that? Whatever that is like, what is that? Theater. Okay. There, theater watching. That's my cluster. And then the next cluster is there. Turn that over there. That's the cluster. Okay. See, do you see that? Easy peasy. And then this one, okay, that one is significant. What's this? Oh, what's that? Reading. Okay.
Reading.
All right, so we'll mention reading. I saw an increase and then a rapid decline. However, stuff like that. There, easy peasy. There, it's a piece of cake. It's a walk in the park. It's a cakewalk. There, and then the final cluster is, I don't know if you can recognize the cluster I'm doing. There. All right, there. Easy peasy, there. Then the last one is this one. I'll just mention that there was a sudden. All right, okay, here goes. That's the cluster. Easy peasy. So here's the essay proper. A survey was conducted over the span of 20 years or 2 decades, measuring the activities that geriatrics activities there activities. Let's make this smaller, guys, because it has to be seen. Okay. That geriatrics occupy themselves with in their free time. Okay, that's it. Then we are now into the overview, guys. Overall, 3 trends appear to stand out there. Initially, easy peasy. Initially, okay. Watching TV was and had always been a favored pastime for a high majority of the respondents. There, and then I will mention this one. The rest of the activities, albeit there, I seem to use albeit a lot. Fluctuating on the interim had ended the survey all with an uptick there. Lastly, hiking. Hiking had shown itself to have gained in popularity through the decades. Okay, there, that's it, easy peasy. And so we'll now go into the details. So in detail, as mentioned, all surveyed elderlies engaged in TV viewing at a high percentage of, what is that? What's that figure? There, 60 to 70%, is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, 60.
Okay,
60 to 70.
of 60 to 70% throughout, with the peak being observed in, when was the peak?
2000. 2000.
Okay, in the turn of the millennium. There, that's it for TV. Corollary to this, hiking had begun at a low
Percentage. Low.
patronage there. What's that? 20%.
20%.
With merely 2 out of 10 geriatrics engaging in such. However, this figure had climbed steadily,
Up to 80.
climbed steadily through the years. Kenny Rogers, through all the good and bad. And then there, okay, climbed steadily through the years. With 2010 witnessing a reversal of trends, where 8 out of 10 had participated in such. Where a high there. All right, easy peasy. And then you write there, easy peasy. Just kidding. All right. Okay, finally, the last surveyed activities saw differing patterns, though all ending the survey with a clear uptick there. All right, so let's just go through this one by one. What's that? What's this one? We will mention this
Which
one.
color?
This gray thingy.
The gray is theater.
Theater. So started at half, correct?
Half, yes.
Declining to 30%, then moderately increasing to 40%. Okay. Half of the respondents loved watching theater in, guys, use the American spelling because you're more used to that, right? So it's okay,
Yes.
you use the American spelling. In the start of the 80s. There. Notwithstanding popularity declined steadily there, bottoming out at 30% by, when is that? After a decade, before fortunately recovering towards the 2010s at a moderate 40%. Okay, that's the end of it for theater. Then let's discuss that one, right? Ooh, okay, what's that?
Reading.
Reading. 30% increased to 40%, dropped to 20% before rocketing to 60%. Okay. Reading had been A preference for 3 out of 10 elderlies in 1980, and the figure declined worryingly there to wait, it declined, correct? No, it rose.
No.
It rose. Okay. And the
Figure.
figure rose or had risen to 40% after a decade. However, this activity declined worryingly. Where do we now go? Towards the new
To
millennium? And then
30%.
2010s, 60%. Declined worryingly in the succeeding years before fortunately experiencing a comeback. There, comma, ending the study at at an impressive 60%. And finally, we have the last one, guys. Easy peasy. What's the last one?
Surfing the net.
Surfing the internet. Then it ended at 50%. Okay. Lastly, let's just put a final here. Oh, I already had finally here, so I'll just put meanwhile there, and then we will have finally as the final paragraph. Finally, okay, finally, internet
Surfing the internet.
use had not been popular among the older generation, registering a paltry, oh, I love that word, paltry, 10%, 10% in the 80s. This is where the internet was just starting, in the 80s, and climbing lethargically to easy peasy
Ano ba yan?
to 13% by the turn of the century. Notwithstanding, there had been a sudden change of pattern where internet use, I wonder if they have computers in care.
I rocketed.
They are rocketed. That's the word for it. Rocketed in popularity, closing the survey at an impressive 50%. I'm happy with that. Easy peasy.
Bulit?
Oh. Oh, see, I still have 2 minutes left. Woo-hoo-hoo. Easy peasy.
Impressive.
There, I will save that and send that to you guys. Okay, but before sending it to you, let's isolate the what do you call this? The four attributes there. So clearly the cluster was already really good, right? We covered everything
Yep.
there. So cluster, check. And then the overview was also good. I had three overviews. If you see that, overall, three trends appear to stand out. Initially, watching TV was and had always been a favorite pastime. Oh, I wonder if I spelled this correctly. Pastime. There. Oh, there. Easy peasy. Well, I had a wrong spelling. It's a good thing I was able to detect that. Okay. From a high majority of the respondents, the rest of the activities, albeit fluctuating on the interim. Ooh, I love that phrase. Had ended the survey all with an uptick. Lastly, hiking had shown itself to have gained in popularity through the decades. Okay, that's the overview. And then let's now go into the linguistic aspects. So remember nominal traps? I think we got that. I don't think we ever fell for any of the nominals. Nominal traps. Wait, what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna delete. Oh, what happened? What happened? Undo. Yeah. I'm gonna delete all of these circles because they're so confusing here. So I think we got the nominals already. We got it right. There. All right. And then let me isolate tensing. Okay, guys. So the past passive. Mm, so present tense. Then simple past was had always been past perfect. The rest of activities, albeit fluctuating on the interim, had ended past
Had
perfect,
ended.
all with an uptick.
Had shown.
Hiking had shown, yeah, itself to have gained in popularity through the decades.
Gained. Gained.
Have gained. No? So, guys, when it comes to verbs, you have the main verb and then you have the successive verbs, which are all in the base form. This is a successive verb, right? You know, there's such a thing as the uh, independent clause, that one, and the dependent clause. So for the dependent clauses, all the verbs there are in base form. All right. We'll encounter that later in detail as mentioned. All surveyed elderlies, that's the main clause. There, that's the main clause, that long clause. So engage, simple past. Then try to notice as well how the vocabularies had been varied. All right. So engaged in TV viewing throughout, with the peak being observed. So this is a passive voice in the turn of the millennium. Corollary to this, hiking had begun. Okay, we hadn't used had begun yet, right? That's a low patronage. We use that term, guys. A low patronage. And then this is now the dependent clauses there. With merely 10 out of 10 geriatrics engaging in such there. So even the elderly, we kind of varied that you have geriatrics there, and then we have elderlies and the other sentences, right? Or older generation. Vary, always vary. And then this figure had climbed steadily through the years with 2010. So this is now what you call a relative clause or the dependent clause with 2010 witnessing. So in the dependent clause, guys, this is the independent clause, correct? That's where the tense is. And this one is also the independent clause. There. That's where the tense is. And then in the dependent clause or the relative clauses, what the verb that I use there is the gerund, engaging. See, witnessing. Do you understand? So we cannot use the gerund in the main clause. We use it in the relative clauses there. With 2010 witnessing a reversal of trend, where a high 8 out of 10 had participated there. Okay. Meanwhile, the last surveyed activities saw differing patterns. So, past, simple past. Though all ending, see, there's the gerund again. Do you see that, guys? The power of the gerund, it can extend your sentence. Though all ending the survey with a clear uptick. Ooh, I like that you use that, guys. Uptick. I wonder if we can use downtick. Oh, see that? We can use downtick. Oh no, it came out as there an error. There's no such word. Okay. So half of the respondents loved their simple past watching theater in the start of the 80s. That's really a simple sentence there. And then we now go into the complex sentences. Notwithstanding popularity declines steadily, simple past. And then there's the gerund bottoming out at 30% after a decade. And there's another gerund coming before fortunately recovering. Do you see that gerund towards the 2010s at a moderate 40%? That's the power of the gerunds. You can now extend your sentence indefinitely. It can run forever with the gerund there. So again, this is another independent clause. Reading had been a preference for 3 out of 10 elderlies. So that's the past perfect tense. And the figure had risen to 40% after a decade. So that's another main clause, right? So those are two main clauses combined with a conjunction, and that's what you call a compound sentence, right? Two independent clauses in one sentence. However, this activity declined worryingly. So simple past in the succeeding years. There's the gerund again. Before fortunately experiencing a comeback, ending the study at an impressive 60%. Then what else do I need to highlight? So notice also the use of adverbs like, see, after a verb, you have worryingly. Experiencing a comeback. See, that's an adjective, an impressive 60%. That's another adverb. Fortunately, recovering to modify the gerund. I love using adverbs. Adverbs, adjectives. Okay. A clear uptick. That's a noun. And then all surveyed elderlies had begun at low patronage with merely 2 out of 10 geriatrics engaging. There's the adverb, guys. Climbs steadily. Witnessing a reversal of trend. Let's look for more adverbs. Three trends appear to stand out. Initially, watching TV was and always had been a favored pastime. That's an adjective for a high majority. The rest of the activities, albeit fluctuating on the interim, had all ended the survey. Had ended the survey all with an uptick. There are no more adverbs. That's it. All right. Nice, no? There, I will. You analyze that, guys. 251 words. Ha! Too many. All right, but that's okay. We wrote it in time. That's the important thing. Okay. I think that will be next week where I will have a lecture on sentence complexity. So remind me to use this activity as an example because it's a mix of simple sentences, compound sentences, or complex sentences. A mix there. Okay. Wait, let me highlight, for example, a simple sentence. Wait, I'll just save the document before we lose it. There. So, Einstein, and then writing workshop. There. And then live writing. There it is. There. And then let's put a new folder for task one. Task one. Then this is going to be a line graph. There. Okay, so line and multiple graphs. There. December 17th, 2021. There. Okay. So let me point you out to a simple sentence. That one. 3 trends appear to stand out. That's a simple sentence. And let's look for more simple sentences. Half of the respondents love watching theater in the start of the 80s. That's what you call a simple sentence. Subject, verb, object. And then it was followed now by a highly complex sentence. Popularity declines steadily. That's the main clause, and then these are the relative clauses. Bottoming out at 30% after a decade, before fortunately recovering towards the 2010s at a moderate 40%. That's a highly complex sentence. So it's a mix, right? And then reading had been a preference for 3 out of the 10 elderly. So this is now what you call 2 independent sentences combined together with a conjunction and. The figure had risen to 40% after a decade. So that's what we call a compound, compounded like 2 independent clauses, right? And then we're back to the independent clause, declined worryingly in the succeeding years, and then these now are gerunds. That's one gerund, that's one relative clause as marked by the gerund, and this is another relative clause here as marked by the gerund there. Nice. It's a mix of tensing. Yeah, you gotta watch that lesson on clause complexity because we're gonna talk about the power of the gerunds among others in extending a sentence, allowing you to display sentence complexity. Okay. All right. Any questions on that? Any questions? Any? None?
None.
No questions? Oh my God, we even forgot to include that.
The last
Okay.
part.
So that's the uh, past perfect tense. There's the gerund again. Do you see that? Registering a paltry 10% in the 1980s. And there's another gerund climbing lethargically. My God, I love those adverbs.
So much.
Paltry. So nice. Paltry is an adjective to 13% by the turn of the century. Maybe we should use that as the word of the day. And then notwithstanding, there had been. So that's the past perfect tense again. And then gerunds are coming. Where, all right, this is another independent clause, guys. Combined together by the conjunction where. So simple past. And rocketed. I love that. Rocketed. It's like a spaceship rocketed in popularity. And then gerund coming in, closing the survey at an impressive 50%. So this one is a independent clause. So remember, an independent clause has a verb. A tense, a verb with a tense there. So had been clearly. And then this one has another verb, simple past. But dependent clauses do not have verbs with tensing. So climbing a gerund, it doesn't indicate a point in time. It's not like rocketed clearly in the past or had been clearly in the past, but closing the survey at an impressive 50%, there is no clear time frame. Relative clauses cannot have verbal tenses there. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Nice. So this is well over 280 words, I would imagine. Oh, 301 words there. Who cares? Okay. Let's now go into the next one, a multiple graph. There. So again, guys, for multiple graphs, the critical skill is the cluster. So as we can see, the pie charts and the table give information about the total value and sources of fish imported to the US between 1988 and 2000. So these are fish that the US receives from other countries. So the value in billions of dollars, we can see that it has steadily increased over a period of 12 years. Yeah. And then, so that's the value, but the sources of the fish, we can see what's this, which is which. So others appear to indicate that one. China is that one. Canada is at 60%. And then Canada has declined by nearly half. China saw an increase, and other sources. By the turn of the new millennium, Canada had declined further. China had continued its steady increase, while other sources had stabilized. Okay, so this is like a line graph, right? So let's just isolate others. So from there, it had rocketed, had doubled, had leapfrogged. Let's use those adverbs. I mean, those verbs. And maintained there, had maintained its status. Canada began the survey at a high 60%, and imports to the US had fallen by nearly half. And by the turn of the new millennium, imports continued to decline. China had seen a steady increase. That's it. Those are the three what? Clusters. Okay, cluster number one is, oh, wait. We got a time. Huh. We have not timed it, man. Okay. So let's try to finish it with 5 minutes to spare. Okay. So cluster is so easy. So as regards to the value had witnessed a steady incline there over time. And then as regards to the pie charts, other sources, that's a nominal trap, guys. Others. There, you don't say others. 27% belongs to others. Other sources. Kasi others, that's like, others ka naman eh. Yun. Wala ka naman pakisama, others ka. Yan. Other sources had contributed, past perfect, slightly over a quarter. Then, rocketing to nearly double the 1988 range and maintaining there this percentage towards the new millennium there. Meanwhile, okay, we can just copy paste this there for guys, right? China began, simple past, the survey At a paltry, there's that word again. 13%. Okay, simple. Like a simple sentence. After 4 years, its contributions rose to a fifth, 20%, right? Of total imports. There. Then continued its ascent. There. Ending the survey at 30%. There. 30%. Okay. Lastly, Canada's contributions began at an impressive adjective, 60%, but declined. I'm going to inject an adverb. Alarmingly to nearly half. There. After a mere 4 years. There. By year 2000, its contributions continued to decline, continued to fall there, though at a slower pace. All right, that's the survey. I mean, that's the essay. That's it. That's your entire essay. All you gotta do now is we already have the tensing, we identified the nominal trap, others. And then, yeah, we have the overview. All we gotta do is to write the essay. There, a moderately lengthy study was conducted. Where was this conducted? In the United States. Measuring, that's the adverb. I mean, that's the gerund. Measuring the value of fish imports to the said country, as well as the sources from which the fish emanated from. I guess we can consider fish as a nominal trap as well. So you can use fish or you can use fishes. There. In a nutshell, fish value climbed reassuringly over the years, but sources had shown an interesting change. There, that's the overview. And then, woohoo, this is now the easy part, guys. To begin with, there, fish value or the value of fish imports, there, the value, that's a beauty of the computer delivered, guys. You can just copy paste. Had witnessed a steady incline over time there, and then let's inject the gerund beginning at 6.57 billion. 6.57 billion. Oh, what happened? 6.57 billion in 1988. Then increasing, I'd like to inject an adverb. Increasing favorably, increasing there's a word I can't remember. over time, ending the study at a healthy there $10.72 billion by year 2000. There, then as pertaining to the sources from which the fish, I was gonna say emanated from, came from. There, we'll just copy paste. Other sources had contributed be slightly over a quarter there in 1988. Then rocketing to nearly double the 1988 range after 4 years. Okay. And maintaining this percentage towards the new millennium. There. China began the survey at a paltry 13%. After 4 years, its contributions rose to a fifth of total US imports. There. Then continued its ascent, ending the survey at 30%. Then lastly, Canada's contributions began at an impressive 60%. Wait, what's happening there? But declined alarmingly to nearly half after a mere 4 years. By the year 2000, we should delete that comma there. Its contributions continued to fall, though at a slower pace. There. What was that? 28%. There, we can just inject that there at 28%. That's it. So the second graph was easier for me because there was less information to discuss. But the first one, we had so many values to discuss there, and the movements were crazy. 189 words, guys. Any questions? A moderately lengthy study was conducted. That's the past passive voice. Measuring, there's the gerund, the value of fish imports to the sent country, as well as the sources from which the fish emanated from. In a nutshell, fish value climbed reassuringly over the years, simple past, but, and then here's another independent clause coming, combined together by the conjunction but. Sources had shown an interesting change. To begin with, the value of fish, what's this computers? The value of fish imports there had witnessed past perfect tense, a steady incline over time. Beginning, there's the gerund, guys, at 6.57 in 1988. Then increasing, there's another gerund favorably over time. And here's another gerund, ending the study at a healthy $10.72 billion. Oh, wait. Billion. Huh. I almost missed that by year 2000. So because of the power of the gerunds, we were able to lengthen the description. That's the first. Oh, the first one was over here. There. See. And then we lengthened it a second time. See. And then we lengthened it a third time. Thank you, gerund. So in so doing, we were able to cover the entire table in one complex sentence. Thank you, gerunds. Gerund. As pertaining to the sources from which the fish came from, other sources had contributed past perfect tense slightly over a quarter, 1988. Then gerunds coming up, rocketing to nearly double the 1988 range after 4 years. And there's another gerund maintaining this percentage towards the new millennium. China began, simple past, the survey at a paltry 13%. After 4 years, see, simple sentence, simple sentence. It's a range, it's a range, not complex sentences all the time. After 4 years, its contributions rose, see, simple past, to a fifth of total US imports. Then continued, that's another simple past, its ascent. Gerund time, ending the survey at 30%. There, easy peasy. And then you type there, easy peasy. Oh, there's Canada. I'm forgetting the last paragraph. Lastly, Canada's contributions began, a simple past, but declined alarmingly there. So that's the main sentence, main clause. And then this one is another main clause, guys. That's why you have the tense over there. But that main clause lacks the subject because the subject is already here. So in order to avoid any redundancy, you can drop the subject already. See, by the year 2000, its contributions continued to fall, though at a slower pace, at 28%. So maybe we can replace though with albeit, albeit there at a slower pace. Easy peasy. And then you type there, easy peasy. Easy peasy. There. Any questions? How much time did that take us? Ha! We still have 6 minutes.
Time.
Yeah, so much time. There, we have time to sleep. Okay, we'll begin task 2 already with that. With that much time. There. Okay. Any questions? So next week's lecture is critical. That's where we're going to talk about sentence complexity. The simple sentence, the compound sentence, and the complex sentence. Easy peasy. Any questions? So I'll save the documents and then I'll upload this over YouTube and then I will send you the document in the group chats. Let's stop the recording, guys. Easy peasy. Okay. Like maybe you should type there like something like, is that the best you can give, IELTS?
Sana all.
China oil. Stopping the recording.